Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's your boy Worm. On today's podcast, we got Why Not Be Casting, otherwise known as Tony. Alright? It's a great podcast. We talk Halo, we talk Apex, we talk casting, and we talk streaming. Y'all gonna love it. Roll the tape, guys. Roll it.
When I first started casting and whatnot, well, I would say when I started developing my own style.
That just tells you right now, I was worried. I was like sitting on the edge of my seat going, oh, don't hit me. Guys, hurry up, kill him, you know, that kind of deal, you know. I don't want to die.
Nah, man, that's not my fan base. My fan base is not there, so they're quick to if you mess up one time, the trolls come out there.
That's not the right call out there. Helping you with like doing all this full time.
No.
All right. Well, you're pretty much in the same boat I am. So the rest of the day, I'm like this. La 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 la. You know. All right, welcome everyone. How are we doing today? All right, today we have the wonderful Why Not Be Casting in here, also known as Tony, the amazing Tony. Y'all know him, you love him. He's a great freaking caster, definitely up and coming. He's got freaking, I believe in him completely as a caster and all that stuff. And he's pretty freaking good at Halo at the same time, okay? He's been trying his little hand at Apex, and one of these days I need to play with him. But with no further ado, how are you doing, Tony? And let's hear that wonderful intro.
I'm doing great. What's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm kind of a freaking big deal. If you don't know, now you know.
I love it, man. I tell you, like a couple of the SWAT Nation tourneys that you've done and all, and I even watched maybe a video or something like that of the HCS thing that you did and all, and man, like you just bring that freaking energy out. You bring that energy out, and like I don't really see anybody else that can compare to the energy level that you bring to the casting booth. Really, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started casting and whatnot, well, I would say when I started developing my own style as far as casting, I wanted my passion to come through. I've loved Halo for so long, and I'm truly passionate about it. Like I always joke around and say I'm a super fan turned caster who's been given this opportunity, and I want people to know that, like, you know, I'm not one of those people that are gonna walk into a room full of pros and be like, you know, oh, I'm cool, I'm hype. Like, nah, man, I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, snipe down, what's up?
Right. I got you, man. So what is it that really like made you decide to get into casting in the first place?
I've been competing for quite some time. I started off in Halo 2 and started competing Halo 3 more so towards Halo Reach. Took a little bit of a break eventually between the halfway through Halo 4 and then once halfway through Halo 5 was out. And I when I came back to Halo 5, I was trying to compete. I was like, hey, maybe I can go pro. I'm old as hell. Let me try to go pro. And I joined this league. It was called Halo Draft League. And it was a league. It was cool because like you didn't make your own team. You know, you got picked as a player, and then you had a drafted team. So it was a little bit different and whatnot. And I was like, hey, this might be an opportunity for me to get my feet wet and make a name for myself. And I did pretty good. And one day they were like, hey, we have this thing live. We need a caster. Does anybody want to fill in? And I've always enjoyed casting, I guess, for the most part. Like I'd be hearing it, but I never tried it. I was like, hey, let me give it a try. And I sucked. Oh my God, I was so bad. I was terrible. But I had fun. So, you know, I tried to do it again, didn't get better. Tried the third time, got a little bit better. And then, I kept doing it. And eventually I was like, you know what, let me start taking this serious. Let me, like a player, I started doing film review. I started reviewing the VODs of when I was casting, and I started saying, okay, well, how can I get better? How can I sound more polished? How can I hit this climax? How can I learn how to pass it to my co-host and not over talk or under talk? And then I, got some coaching and reached out to some people and I've gotten some very, very good opportunities. Met some really good people.
Yeah. You were talking about Halo Reach and all that stuff. See, Halo Reach was actually where I started from and all that stuff. I played a little bit of that. I played a little bit of H4, and I've definitely played a lot more freaking H5 than probably both of them and all that stuff. But I don't know, like casting. For me, I don't see myself ever doing something like that. But I do love to talk. So like that's the reason why I was like, hey, let me do this podcast because that's all you do is talk. And then maybe down the road or something like that, maybe get into a little casting thing. We talked a little bit before this about how like way back when Winstonthal had a tournament, he was looking for a caster for the last little bit. And the last little bit, I was like, hey, I'll pop in and do whatever. And I actually had a lot of fun doing that, and his chat seemed to like the energy that was brought across and all that stuff. And I won't lie, I think I might have referenced a little bit of that energy from you from watching some of the casting that you've done for the SWAT Nation and all that stuff. Like I was like, man, like he's keeping the energy, the flow going, all that stuff going. It's I was like, what, that's what we need and all that stuff. Because like when I was watching like Winstonthal, the energy just wasn't there, and I was like, all right, let me do it, and let me pull my inner Tony out and all that stuff. And I think some people liked it. I don't see myself ever really doing anything like that ever again, but I do. I do love the energy that you bring across, man. I really do.
I appreciate that. I mean, luckily, I will say the first few times I went on stage, like I don't think I was good for the most part, but I think viewers understand that. And if you're perfectly honest about, hey, this is my first time, I think, especially as a Halo community, we can be toxic, but we could also really come together and really support each other. So the first few times you're casting, and as long as the audience knows it, they'll definitely be extra lenient on you. I will say, as you start to cast more or start to reach out to different audiences, that's when I started to realize, like, that's when you're really tested. Because like when I cast Halo 5, like I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of people in the chat, they know who I am. So if I mess up, nobody like everybody laughs about it, or nobody calls me out. But if I cast like MCC, for example, like, nah, man, that's not my fan base. My fan base is not there. So they're quick to, if you mess up one time, the trolls come out there.
That's not the right call out there. They're not jumping on that platform. Come on, dude, get your act straight. Yeah. I mean, trust me. I mean, I definitely feel you there because just in playing, I'll call one little area one thing and all that stuff, and to me it makes sense, but to the other player.
Oh no!
Come on, dude! You don't know what you're talking about, man. It was like, no, but it looks like this. It might not be called that, but it looks like this.
You know what I was talking about.
Right? Come on, let's get this act straight. Come on, man. Like, jeez. Oh man. All right, so we talked a little bit about SWAT Nation a little bit and all that stuff. How many tournaments so far have you done for SWAT Nation as far as casting for them? How many? There's been a few, right?
Oh, how many? I would probably say, I mean, it will put a 2 per month, and I've been working for them for, man, my gosh, it must be at least 8 or 9 months. I was
going to say about 9 months. Probably,
how about we'll call it between 15 and 20 tournaments.
Yeah.
It could be more, it could be less, but I think that's a good gauge. I think maybe 15 or 20 tournaments, but honestly, I'd have to go back a lot. And speaking of SWAT Nation, if you don't mind, like, I mean,
go ahead.
It's funny because his girlfriend's in the chat. I'm not just saying this because Ashley's here, but honestly, like, Danny is so underrated.
Yep.
As esports personality, as a streamer, and as a player. Like, as a player, people are like, "Oh my gosh, he's that SWAT kid." Like, this dude is Halo talented.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He really, knows what he's
really
doing.
Good. It's not just SWAT. It's honestly not just SWAT. Like, he's really talented. And as an esports, like put me, for example, I promise you, Wormdog, I would not be here getting these gigs that I'm getting right now if Danny didn't give me that chance. Like, Danny heard me when I was just casting some baby stuff, and he was like, "Hey, I hear something in that guy." I get a job with SWAT Nation as their lead caster. Esports Arena hears me on SWAT Nation. They reach out to me. LVT hears me because of Esports Arena. I start going through LVT. HCS hears me through HCS, through LVT and SWAT Nation and Sports Arena, but it's all three. And you know what? We're starting to let's give this guy a shot. And now I'm getting some more opportunities and bigger and whatnot that I can't really go into detail. But like, there's people like Danny. He
started it all out for you, man. He started it all out for you, man. You know, and I have to say, like for me, like there was, you know, when I was more active within the SWAT Nation, I've kind of gotten away from it on all because my thing is that I kind of want to be able to do things a little bit more on my own. I won't lie, like probably a good mass majority of the following that I have is through freaking SWAT Nation people and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the support that I got through Danny and all the other people and all, and even his old lady and all that stuff, you know, it's actually wonderful. I actually love and adore it and all. I have kind of backed off a little bit and all because I'm not doing Halo all the time. I'm doing more Apex or whatever and stuff like that. You know, I just I don't think I would have even gotten anywhere near where I am now without SWAT Nation and all that stuff, with the support that they've done. You know, I totally agree with you. And Danny's definitely underrated as a player in the realm and all that stuff. All right, back on the casting a little bit more. All right, because well, this was going to be our main topic, anyways.
I'm here.
You know,
let's go 4 hours. I can talk 5. I can talk 5 just about casting. I'm here, Worm.
Right. Like, all right, you've casted with a bunch of different people so far and all that stuff. Who would you say is like one of your favorite people to cast with?
I'm not giving you one favorite. I apologize. You're not getting one favorite.
That's the reason why I said some of your favorites.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
I'm gonna give you some categories, and I'm gonna give you the reason why. So number one, we talked about Danny. I'm gonna put him out there. Just number one, Danny, because with me and Danny on the mic, we're just having freaking fun. We're out there, we're having fun. It's laid back and whatnot. I worked in tons of productions where, you know, you have like LVT, you know, super organized, you know, one of the best broadcasts in the business, coming out of the news industry, nobody touches them. I've also worked with SWAT Nation and Danny. You know, we're just cracking jokes, having a good time, and the audience is loving it. So that's number one, Danny. Number two, I'm gonna put Shyway and Nighty Night out there because of their, well, obviously Nighty Night, he's so well established in the industry, right? And his experience, he's like professional. I'm gonna put Shyway as the same thing, professional. He's a little newer, but like he's so polished and so knowledgeable. It's been fantastic working him. I'm gonna put Tools up there as well. Same thing, knowledgeable, new, but so much knowledge and just true professional. So Shyway, Nighty, and Tools, I'll put them in kind of the same category. Active, that's my future duo right there. Like me and him, we have a similar style. And that's, you know, let me tell you, me and Active are taking over the world. We're taking over Halo. We have a very similar style, but we can still bounce well off each other. So I'm putting Active up there as well, and kind of similar to Nap Times, we're having a good time, but a little bit more on a professional vibe, and
right.
Where me and Danny, we're just best friends having a good time. And I mean, I'm Golden Boy on a Smurf, so Golden Boy, hit my line. My DMs are
open. No, man, like there's a lot of great casters out there and all that stuff. It's like I've watched Shyway's casting and all that stuff and all, and it's very polished, he knows knowledge of the game. I love also how he does the breakdowns and all that stuff of like different jumps and all that stuff that I've seen, different movements that people have done and all. I love creeping in those chats. You know what I'm saying? I have to say, like so far, like you bring the energy though. Like the couple of times that like I've been in there with, where like like you've casted with Shyway. And all, and it's just like Shyway is like that center post, and you're the guy that's on the side, just no, you know, and all that stuff. But at the same time, like that kind of energy, that kind of like bouncing off of people, that the way y'all do things and all that stuff, it keeps it entertaining. It keeps it going and all that stuff. Because if you have two people that are just like sticks in the mud and all that stuff, it's going to be very freaking boring. If you got one that's somewhat stick of a mud and the other crazy freaking person waiting to see how far he can get down in the mud and all, then, you know, that's very entertaining and brings a lot more to the cast and all that stuff. And that's what you definitely bring. You definitely freaking bring that. And trust me, my analogies are a little redneck and all that stuff. Some people might not understand them, but it's okay. If you were from the country,
I think we work well. I think me and him work well together. I think we both bring out the best in each other. It's always a pleasure working with him. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. So let's get into the streaming side of things and all that stuff. And we're actually going kind of fast on this. I might have to slow down. There's just so much energy, you know. What got you into streaming? Now, were you casting before you started streaming, or did you start streaming and then start getting into casting?
So it was funny because when I first heard about the Xbox having the ability to stream without needing a capture card, I was actually making fun of it. I was like, oh god, now everybody's gonna be a streamer, nobody's actually gonna be a viewer, and I almost made fun of it. I never ever wanted to stream like at all. That was the last thing I ever wanted to shoot. I never even played Halo with clothes on. Like what? I gotta wear a shirt. Forget that. Like that's never happening. But when I got into casting, and when I first noticed about casting is that I'm passionate about casting. I love casting, but what I love more is entertaining an audience and having people around me having fun. And that's what I found out about myself when learning about casting and streaming is just another source of I can do that without having to worry about, you know, affecting this person's bottom line or this person's bottom line. Like I can't joke about this. I can't joke about that. I can't do this or that. Like, no, like streaming, this is my platform. I can do and say whatever I want. If I want to go out and start twerking, I'm freaking twerking. Right. Like I get to do whatever I want. And so I started off casting and then that's when I found out that I really love having fun with people around me, and that's when I was like, streaming just made sense. It just made sense. I have a bit of a personality. I'm okay at Halo. Like I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst.
You're better than me. You're better than me. I'm a hard plat right here, and you're freaking, you know, you're up there in diamonds and all that stuff. So don't worry, you'll be fine. You know. But I'm known as that halfway decent anchor when I'm not completely drunk. Okay. No, it's like when I first started streaming. All right, I actually started streaming off the Xbox straight off, and then did all that. Didn't have a webcam and all that stuff. And then I ended up starting using one of my old laptops and used that as a webcam. That's pretty much all I really used it for, was as a webcam.
Yep.
And all that stuff. Did that and all, and then eventually got, you know, grew my rig larger and larger and larger, and it's like now I've got 3 monitors, I've got freaking, you know, my Xbox and a PC.
Yep.
You know, I have a second PC that's actually in the corner here, but I'm not actually using it and all that stuff because I don't really need to have that second PC set up and all that stuff right now. And all, but
but soon you'll be doing the double PC. Hey, Infinite's around the corner.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's the one thing for me is like it's almost all PC gaming now. Like I noticed, like you've been playing on Apex, and it looks like you've been playing that off of PC, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Graphics. Like the graphics is nowhere close to what you get on like console and all that stuff. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I will try to stay on PC. That's another reason why when Infinite comes out, and if it does come on PC and it isn't broken, which it most likely will be, hopefully I'll be able to play it on PC, and I can, you know, put my my Xbox in the closet and let it rest, you know, for a little while. It's like the only thing I play on Xbox now is H5. That's it. I play MCC, Apex, all the ones, COD, all that on PC and all. It's because of connectivity, and the graphics and all that stuff. Because like I feel like, I don't know if you agree or not, but I feel like the response on your controller is more steady, more accurate and all that stuff than what it is on console. I don't know. Yeah. It definitely feels a lot better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, easy. It's easier to stream. You have a competitive advantage over somebody that's on console, like the frame rates and all that stuff that I don't even know about. Plus, I just yesterday added this thing where like if I have my controller plugged into my computer, as I'm moving my controller, you can see all the movement keys that are actually on the controller on my screen through a layout, which is like really cool. That alone is like cool, but just so much easier to stream. Yeah, PC gaming definitely is the future. I'm a bit worried when it comes to Halo. Like MCC's dealing with it right now, where cheating is rampant. Warzone dealing with it right now. Cheating is rampant. It's a lot more accessible. I mean, you can cheat on Xbox, obviously, but it's more accessible on PC. So that's one thing that I'm worried about as far as for competitive integrity. But outside of that, like, I mean, well, PC's king.
The thing is that is the thing that PC's always had a problem with, is the cheating and all that stuff. It's always been there. There's always going to be, want and need for a better anti-cheat and all that stuff and all. And the thing is that with the way PC is and all, you're never going to completely get rid of it and all that stuff. And it's just one of those things you just gotta kind of roll with the punches and hope that the companies do the right thing and put in an anti-cheat. Hello, Warzone, COD Warzone, put an anti-cheat in. Just different little things, that's going to be there. But the one good thing is that, like, okay, you do, major esports events and stuff like that and all. It's really hard to cheat at those things. I think. I don't know very well. I've never been to a major esports thing, but like if you're a major esports and you're on a pro team and all that stuff, you're going to have a heck of a time being able to get away with a cheat. So that's just.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be tough. You get caught. You get caught pretty soon, and people start questioning things. But I mean, I can't lie. Like like there's rumors of people playing with like Zims, for example, on Xbox, where they're able to use mouse and keyboard while still getting auto aim, and it's hard to really to detect it. And there's rumors of people. Like one person got disqualified from one tournament recently, and he's a well known player. It's definitely possible, but luckily 343 they seem like they're going to be on it, and they got their work cut out for them.
yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be interesting when Infinite come out and how they do that, because they are talking about having it be cross-platform and all that stuff. I don't know if it's going to be cross progression or not, but
it is.
Oh, it is. Okay, so you can come into a lot of issues with those two things. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely invest a lot into anti-cheat and all that stuff, but we'll see. Okay.
It's actually pretty interesting because they put out a I think it was a tweet, or it might have been a blog last week, and they announced a progression. They announced a cross-platform and cross-progression. What they also announced was that ranking will be input-based. So if you're on controller, you only match people with controller. If you're on mouse and keyboard, you only match people with mouse and keyboard. Ooh. I think that's good for competitive integrity. I do, but I think that like Halo's been separating. We've been separated so much in Halo. Like a lot of my friends, they play MCC. I love Active. He's my duo. I don't even play the same freaking game as him. He plays mouse and keyboard. I play controller. Like I want to play with my friend, and I want to play ranked. Like we only play ranked. So I think it's good for competitive integrity. I think it's bad in some ways. Sorry for my dog in the background. I think it's bad in some ways where it's always seems like Halo's we're always so separated, but we want to bring everybody together.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Halo's always had the light side, the nice, cool people, whatever. And you got the dark side, the toxic ones, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And you got the people that are like somewhat in the middle and all that stuff. That's just a natural thing and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely in the freaking middle there. I'll choose some people out. But at the same time, I can be the nicest person in the world. I don't know, like if they do keep that separate and all that stuff, and it is going to make it very hard for friends to play with other friends and all that stuff because it's like Pixel Pete. I consider him a great friend of mine and all that stuff. He's converted over to mouse and keyboard now and all that stuff. Well, when Infinite comes out and all that stuff, and he wants to play that, and we're playing on PC and all that stuff, I'm sorry, I'm old. I'm almost hitting 40. I'm going to stay on my controller. Okay, it seems a lot easier for me. Okay, I got arthritis enough in my hands. Trying to hit all them keys is going to hurt. But yeah, exactly. But if they make it to where I can't play with him, it's like, dude, really, like. Even if it's ranked or unranked or whatever, like, no. I got to be able to play with them. So, but of course, I'm sure there's ways that they could try to, fool the PC into thinking it's a controller or thinking it's a mouse and keyboard and all that stuff.
I don't want to like fool them, and I don't want to like cheat to play with a friend. Like I just want to be able to play with my friend. Like I said, I understand from the competitive side of things. Like for example, mouse and keyboard, like you have that advantage with the no scope and the sniper, but you're at a huge disadvantage without auto aim because of the amount of tracking you have to do in Halo. Like it's not just like Call of Duty where it's you're dead. Like no, you have to doom. You have to hit those shots with those precision based weapons, and so there is advantage when it comes to having auto aim with the controller. But at the same time, there's also advantages. So I understand what they're trying to do, and it makes sense. However, I think what would be even better than that is you give the players the opportunity. So if I don't want to play with mouse and keyboard as a control player,
turn it on.
I don't get to. If I want to, click. I want to. And if I want to have that competitive disadvantage in certain ways, then so be it. I think it'd be good to have the option to turn off and turn on. Because like I said, you mentioned being in the middle, and that's how I feel myself. Like I'm a competitive I'm a competitive player, but I also feel like I represent the casual community as well. So I feel like I want to bridge those two gaps together, and we're always getting separated as we just are, and I want to bring us back together.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that and all. I don't know if the technology is there or not, because obviously technology is ever growing and all that stuff and all. I know like they have that mode where you can if you're a console player, you can turn on and off if you want to play with PC players and all that stuff. I don't know if they would be able to have that if they have that technology, or be able to have that technology to where you can play with just keyboard people compared to just controller people and all that stuff.
They have it. They absolutely. They 100% have that technology, but at the same time, like
not a lot of people use it though.
As a controller player, of course, I can sit there and say I want to play against mouse and keyboard players because with the BR in my hands, I have an advantage. So I understand the reason for the devil's advocate of them not having that setting. Like it's easy for me as a controller player to say that, but mouse and keyboard players are probably saying like, "Hey, we're at a disadvantage. We don't want to play against controller people." So, but that's why I think they should have the opportunity to turn it off.
Both sides have their pluses.
I think it makes sense.
That's true. So we'll see. I don't know.
Exactly.
Nobody really knows. I mean, I wish they would come out with the flight already and for Infinite, so that people can start getting into that and give it a try and all that stuff and all. Because that's the other thing that I've noticed with a lot of companies lately is that they're not like properly like beta testing, alpha testing, and all that stuff terribly much. And they're just not taking the time that they need to. They're not freaking testing, testing their servers for new updates. Prime example is last night's freaking new Apex season that I don't think they properly tested their servers. And that's the reason why when everybody and their mother freaking tried downloading the update and all that stuff, everything crashed. They didn't properly test it. They wanted to get it out there. Yeah.
Now it could have been a comment. I'm also in Georgia here, Worm Dog. So there was a tornado warning and whatnot. Like the weather was bad, so it could have been a combination of their servers and also the weather throwing me off and whatnot. Could have been a combination of the two. All
Very
I know
true.
is I'm jumping on Halo 5 on Xbox. I'm having no problem. I'm trying to play my Apex on PC, and yesterday knocked out of every game. Literally every game I kept getting knocked out multiple times, having to come back in or sometimes not being able to play at all. It was unplayable, got off. This morning I go to start up Apex. I go to start, I'm in that loading screen of death again, and I'm like, I'm done. Going back to Halo 5. Like went to the bread and butter Halo 5 and I played Halo 5 the whole time. But like, yeah, it was bad. Like, and mind you guys, I'm a Halo player. When I say I'm a Halo, I don't call myself a gamer. I'm a Halo player. Like I haven't grinded a game outside of Halo since Black Ops 2. This goes a long way. So I've been diving into Apex for the last week. This is big for me. Like I don't play any other game. So this is huge. So it was really disappointing. I'm so far behind in Apex. The new season just came out with the arenas. Like I was like, okay, well maybe this is my chance to maybe catch up a little bit because everybody's starting brand new with the arenas. I only have to get used to the gunplay, and
you know
I'm two
that's
days
the
behind.
thing. I did want to talk about this a little bit, and we're jumping a little ahead, but it's fine.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. The arena thing, the arena mode, I think is going to be like outstanding for people that are trying to, like yourself, trying to learn the game, trying to get it going and all that stuff, how to be able to get in the fight. Like people's skill levels are going to skyrocket as as the arena mode freaking gets going and has more people in there and all that stuff and all. That's another reason why, like tonight, after I get done with this, I'm thinking of trying to jump on Apex, and hopefully it won't freaking break down and all. And because I didn't even bother trying last night, since all the streams I was in, I was like, I'm not even going to try. I'm just not going to even try. But I want to jump in there and I want to get into that arena stuff and all because I'm competitive too. I like to drink while I'm being competitive, but I'm competitive. I think that the arena is just going to build people's skills and understandings of the game when you're in a close quarter fight and all that stuff. I think it's just going to really help a lot, especially if you go from that and you go into the BR. The thing is that when you go from that and then you jump into the BR, I guarantee you that people are going to go, the BR is too slow now. I like my fast-paced arena. I don't want to do that anymore, whatever. Because they're going to get so used to like the fast pace of the arena and the fight sequences and all that stuff and all. And then they jump into the BR and they're able to loot for freaking 5 minutes instead of being dead in 5 minutes, and they're going to be like, oh man, where's everything else at, and where's everybody at? And, it's going to be interesting. But I think that it's definitely going to help a lot of people that want to use the BR as their main state if they try arena and get that with their close quarter combat and all that stuff and all. I think it's going to really help a whole lot of people.
Yeah, so. I mean, I think one of the problems is with battle royales. A lot of the battle royales is that like there's no way to practice. There's no way to like if I want to learn Fortnite or Apex, I just got to go in and get into battles. But like, I think one of the keys to improving and understanding the game is repetition. Like when I play Halo, in order to warm up every day, I play one Octagon because Octagon is constant battles over and over and over and over again. And it's that repetition that gets me warmed up. If I didn't have Octagon when I used to play Call of Duty, in order to warm up, I play free for all because you're in so many battles over and over. Even if you're not a free for all player, I used to play at least 1 or 2 games of free for all just to warm up to get that repetition. In battle royale, you don't get that repetition, so you're gonna get trashed on over and over and over because you don't understand the game mechanics. You don't understand how to get in and out of gunfights, especially a player like me. I'm new to battle royale, period. So I need to now learn the mechanics. I need to learn the gunplay, and I need to learn how to play freaking battle royale. So it's so I think the arenas is good because you're gonna get in those consistent gunfights over again. And maybe it's only one life, but the games are quick. Arenas, I played it. The games are quick, and I like it. Like you're in and out, and it's like these 5-minute games.
It's like 5-10 minute games, depending on how fast they go and all.
Yeah,
but the The only BR that I think that came close to having like an actual end game where it was like really somewhat fast paced or whatever was PUBG's the Sandhook map. The Sandhook map. It was back then when I played it, that was the smallest map that you could play on. You know, I think it came in around like season 2, season 3, or something like that. I think of PUBG, and it was the smallest map, and you still had a decent amount of people on there. So like with PUBG, it was, oh my gosh, PUBG was such a slow game. Okay, you can literally drop on one side of the map and have nobody around you for like 10-15 minutes. Okay, and like the first time you see somebody, you're like, it's like 30 minutes later and all that stuff. And that's if you dropped like real safe. Now, if you dropped a little hot or whatever and all that stuff, that's a completely different story. But like Sandhook, like there was like really no safe spots, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, it's such a small map that you could loot maybe four or five buildings before you get in a skirmish and all that stuff. Apex doesn't have that. Apex, as far as like the size of the map, compared to the amount of teams that are on there and all that stuff, I think it's pretty well rounded and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that is like the best thing about Apex, and that's the reason why I think Apex is, as far as BRs go, it's top tier. You know, number one in my book and all that stuff. But the one thing I do hate the most is the sound whoring in the game. You can basically hear a gunshot from the other side of the map, and that's the reason why, like in Apex, you get so many third and fourth parties.
Yeah,
because a guy could be on the other side of the map, and especially you got an Octane on your team, you could be on the other side of the map. You hear the freaking shots going. Well, Octane or Pathfinder. Now even Valkyrie now, because, you know, with her abilities, you could be on the other side of the map and you could be there within like 30 seconds and get in that third, fourth, fifth party and all that stuff. And man, I tell you, if they could just reduce the sound on it a little bit, you know, I think it'd be a lot better of a game, because then you wouldn't have to worry about immediately getting a third, fourth, or fifth party on Apex. That's just my opinion.
It's funny you mentioned the sound in it. Like, so as far as battle royales, I don't have the same experience as you do. So as far as like the range of sound, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in it. It's my first time dealing with it. So I can't speak on that part. But I did have an issue with sound in Apex, and it's that the footsteps of your teammates almost like they sound exactly like the footsteps of your enemy. So there's been plenty of times where like it's getting heated. I'm like, all right, crouch. Okay, that's you. Sorry. like the footsteps either need to be silent. It's maybe a little bit more reduced for teammates, or just cut it out. I don't want to. I don't even care to hear my teammates. If you have to cut it out, so be it. But at least reduce it to a minimum so it sounds different than enemy, so that I'm not like so many times like everybody crouch, everybody stop.
Well,
I think I hear somebody outside.
That reminds me. I think it was a few weeks ago or something like that. I think it was a few weeks ago. I think I was playing with Andy or somebody else or whatever. It might have been Andy I was playing with. And he always plays Octane and stuff. And we're running through the map. I forget what part of the map. And I'm like, it sounds like I'm hearing two Octanes running right next to me and all that stuff. I'm like, what? And I can't remember if I was playing Bloodhound during that time or not at all. And I don't know. We ended up scanning, and there was an Octane like right on the other side of the rock, running around to like get us from behind and all that stuff. And I swear, if it wasn't for me going, you know, that sounds like there's two Octanes in this party. What is going on here? It's stopping everybody. We probably would have gotten massacred by that guy. You know, it's just weird. It's just absolutely freaking weird. Oh my goodness. All right, back on Halo. All right. Out of all the Halos, what would you say is like your favorite Halo to play?
Favorite Halo to play right now? I gotta go Halo 5. To play right now. My favorite Halo of all time would probably be Halo 3. Halo 3 will always have a special place in my heart. It was the first Halo game that I actually owned. I used to play Halo 2, but I used to play at a friend's house. Halo 3 is the first game I owned, and I just have so many memories of just going back and crazy population, having all my friends, and just so many good memories on Halo 3. But I'm not the type of person where I want to go backwards and play the older games. That's just not for me. Halo 3 always had a special place, but Halo Reach, the first game that I started really diving into competitive, that's gonna be special to me too as well. Halo 4 was the first game that I went to a tournament, and Halo 5 is just like, it's different. Like Halo 5 is just like, it's like, I'm a slower player. I play on freaking one horizontal sensitivity. It behooves me not to have advanced movement, but I still love advanced movement. It's more fun to watch. It's more fun to cast. It's more fun to play to me personally. So right now, Halo 5, but like all time, I got some good memories of Halo 3, and almost none of them are competitive. Like I'm talking about, like specifically, like I used to have a duo,
like BTB or something.
Hey, yo, I'm not even joking. Like I had a neighbor, probably lived maybe about 20 minutes away from me. He used to go to my buddy's house down by the shore. I was in New Jersey, and he used to play Halo 2. We used to always go with split screen on their giant TV. He used to always have these things where he always had rockets. I swear he spawned with them. He always had rockets, and when he would run out of rockets, he would still carry them around. So when a warthog is coming around, he would jump up, whip out his rockets, and just act like he had one in the chamber. It would cause the warthog to like spin out, try to avoid this imaginary rocket. They would knock over. All the three players get out of the warthog, and it was the greatest strategy ever. And like you. And I swear it would work. Like we get so many kills on Warthog players that would just like tumble over from his empty Warthog. But that was fun to me because he would always make these sound effects like boom, 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 and he's trying to scare the Warthog players with this empty rocket. It was just so stupid. But those are memories that just kind of stick in my head that I love. Like my name is Why Not Be Reckless. My name right now, I went back to my first gamer tag. It's only Why Not Be Reckless. It's Tony spelled backwards. Why not? And then my buddy, his name was Reckless Hero 94, and we were the duo. I wanted people to know what a duo. So he was Reckless Hero 94. I was Why Not Be Reckless. My my name comes from Halo 3. It comes from my old duo. So it was just Halo 3 all time, Halo 5 present.
Yeah. No. I mean. I'd say right now for me, like Halo 5, and the reason why for me is because I do like the advanced movement. I don't get me wrong, like in H2, all the H3 and back and all, there's a lot of skill involved and all that stuff in those games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't really see the skill necessarily and all that stuff like you do in like H5. Where guys are able to clamber, do different little things and all, and like you really see the skill.
It's an added variable. Like in Halo, like we talk about Halo 3 being like the golden triangle. It's precision-based weapon headshots, power weapons, and nades. That's like the golden triangle. And Halo 5 has introduced something else where now it's like an octagon because now you have, or at least a square, because now you have to add movement to that because movement is its own variable. Like there's players who are amazing at the game who may not have the best shot, but their movement may it overcompensates for it. So it's a skill gap.
It helps them avoid the shots from that better skilled shooting person. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how many times I've been in H5 and I've been going against these freaking amazing freaking players that are so much better than me and freaking, Onyx level and all that stuff. And the only reason why I stay alive half the time is me freaking getting all over the place, moving around, going from there and all that stuff and getting behind the wall and all, and just like being a distraction. I don't know how, there was one game, I think I got like 20 distraction medals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was ridiculous because I was just like moving around as much as possible, and my movement sucks. So that that just tells you right now. I was worried. I was like sitting on the edge of my seat, going, oh, don't hit me, guys, hurry up, kill him, that kind of deal. I don't want to die. but at the same time, like I have to say, like Reach still holds my heart,
Reach
in a
is
way
good.
too. Like I mean, I know a lot of people are going to hate me on this, but Sword Base was like one of the maps that I actually liked a lot, and was like the only map that I would ever play Infection on, and all.
I remember.
I hate Infection. But like you get on, if you got like three guys, like back in the day, I had three guys. My boy freaking Jerry, my boy freaking Brody, and we would get in there. We would, let's say myself and Jerry were alive, and he was like, or no, we were infected, and he was still alive. We would get up in the air chute. You know what I'm talking about? The little air chute. And we would make a wall so that none of the other infected could get up and get to him unless they went through the airlift to get through the outside of there of there and all that stuff. So he was just getting like free kills, boom, 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 and all that stuff. And every so often the wall would break down because he would accidentally shoot us. But I think that's like one of the fondest memories I've ever had in a long time and all. But at the same time, there's a lot of BTB games that I've played on H5 in particular that are just absolutely freaking amazing to play, especially when you got a good group of people and we're all just having a little bit of fun and, shooting rockets all over the place. And,
I think the problem with Halo is that it always takes Halo too long to come out with proper settings and the updates that it needed. For example, Halo Reach when it first came out, that full bloom was really bad. Like the full bloom that they had was terrible. In competitive, they removed the bloom and removed sprint. In the casual playlist, they reduced the bloom where it was like manageable, where you could shoot 2 times in a row and not like go all over the place and whatnot.
Right.
But the problem is that like as games started to get better and as there was more competition, you can't take it was V7 settings before they got it right. Like V7, there was like 2 months in between. So you're telling me it took 7 to 14 months to come out with good settings. At that point, people moved on. People moved on to Call of Duty. Like even with Halo 5, for example, Halo 5, it was broken
when it first came out.
Yeah, they were playing assault rifles and full radar up until when I came back to the game and they first started removing it. But there's so much competition out there that like these new gamers, they have gamer ADD. Like they're not going to sit here and wait for you to come out with better settings. Like they're gone. That's it.
I'm a kind of a prime example on that because like when H5 came out, I bought it. I freaking started playing it, all that stuff, and I had a great freaking time playing it for like a week, and then there's so many issues with like the BR and all this other stuff and all, and I got away from it. I did not come back to H5 probably in like maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And the only reason why I came back to H5 is because like I was starting to stream. I was playing PUBG. I was playing all these other games and all that stuff and all. And I was like, I kind of miss playing H5. I wonder how it's doing now.
Yeah.
And I come back and I've been playing it ever since then and all that stuff, off and on.
But for every one of you,
there's
500 others who aren't going to come back.
Right.
For everyone, like I'm loyal to Halo. Like I'm Worm Dog. It doesn't Halo. The next Infinite could be the greatest Halo, the worst Halo in the world. I'm gonna play. I'm a Halo fan.
Play it too. Yeah,
exactly. But that is not the majority of these gamers. So what I'm hoping, like again, I have no inside information. Like, but what I'm hoping is that this delay after delay after delay, and I'm hoping they're leaning on the pro team with Clutch and the boys to do these testings and all. I'm hoping that they're leaning on these testings over and over again because like this may be Infinite's last. This may be Halo's last shot. Like
I
after
think so
this,
too. I think so.
like not the Halo. I love Halo 5, but like it's not do. It didn't do as well as it should have. It never reached its full potential, in my opinion, as a AAA esports, or as a live game. Like and they need to knock Infinite out of the park. So hopefully these delays are really good, and when this game comes out, like don't kid yourselves, and it could be perfect day one. Like let's take that out of the water. But after the bugs get fixed, day 1, day 2, day 3, it better be a good functioning game that's gonna draw the casuals in. Because loyals like me, I'm there. You got me. Okay, 343. I'm in your pocket, but you need something to draw these casual fans in and to keep that replayability. And I hope that's what's on the block. 343. I really do.
I completely agree with you on that. And it's like for me, like I think with Infinite, I'll probably give it about a month. And if it's broken for over a month, then I probably will go find something else. I might go to COD. And I hate COD.
I hate to break it, but like when it comes down dollars to donuts, like I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but like I can be successful in almost any esport. Like if I wanted to right now, if I wanted to dive into Apex and put 3 months into it and grind competitive and really know it front and back, I can be an Apex caster and streamer. I can be a COD caster and streamer as well. I'm not trying to sound cocky, but like my skill set travels across. And I'm already introducing myself to a new game, Apex. It's like just in case, I need a couple more gigs, but money's getting tight and whatnot. Like if I was in COD, I probably wouldn't have that problem. But I love and I'm passionate about Halo, so I'm like, I keep telling everybody, like everything that you're putting in now, I'm investing my time, my efforts, my money into Halo. And I'm hoping that it pays off tenfold come Infinite time.
Definitely.
I'm really hoping for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the same way on that. Definitely. I mean, it's like, that's the reason why I've been in the Halo scene for a while myself and trying to, get the name out there in one shape or form, Hey, guys, you got this guy over here, But I mean, I will nowhere near anywhere be casting or anything like that, like you are or anything. I might be doing my little podcast here and there, that kind of deal. I think like because let's be honest, there's a difference between broadcasting and podcasting. There's a huge difference and all that stuff. And it's like for me, like I feel like my realm, because we both love to talk. Like that, like we both love to talk and all that stuff. Sadly, you're also kind of like me, where like I've noticed this even in your gameplay. If you're really focused, dead silence, because you're focused. You know what I'm saying? You're focused. You're just like dead silence, all that stuff. And then after that, bam, you're back to freaking gaming and all that stuff. That's the reason why I freaking love that, because it's like, all right, yep, he ain't talking. He hasn't talked in over a minute. He's focused on something. And all that stuff. And I get the same way and all that stuff. But I love to talk, so I was like, I'm never going to do no casts and anything like that, because one, I don't want to put that much of an effort, because it's a lot of effort that you have to put into as being a broadcaster and all that stuff. So like me doing podcasting, a little bit more relaxed. I get to talk. I get to meet people like you, meet other people that I have throughout and all that stuff. And we have a nice little conversation. And, hopefully, people end up liking it and all that stuff. So I think this is kind of the route. I'll be doing my little games and stuff as well. But I think this is going to be the route I'm going to probably go, because I've had a lot more fun and a lot less stress doing this than if I was to be a main gamer all the time, trying to freaking be at that high level, or even trying to freaking broadcast. Because even though I did do that one thing that one time, I won't lie, like afterwards, I was out like a light. I was out like a light, like because it's like all the energy that you put into that just to cast and all that stuff. Like even though you're just sitting there talking for most of the time, you're exerting actually a lot of mental energy and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So afterwards, like the only thing you want to really do. Well, for me, it's have a few beers and then go to bed, and that kind of deal. I don't know what you normally do, but you don't want to really worry about a whole lot of things. Maybe relax, play a couple of games, but you're not out there freaking playing for forever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've gone through hell weekends or weeks where I've destroyed my voice. I've lost my voice. I've after every event, like people are like, "Hey, do you want a game?" And I'm like, "Yo, there's no I'm literally exhausted." Like it sounds crazy because I'm sitting down and just talking to the outside, but mentally, like you said, mentally, even physically, like I'm like it takes a lot out of me, especially like long broadcasts. Like for example, SWAT Nation, dude, we run 6 to 9 hours, no break.
Right.
Six
Exactly.
like literally 6 to 9 hours, no break. Like sometimes it's pretty crazy. Like some long I'm done. But like I said, I mean, I am passionate about it. I do love it, and if I can make a honest and good living from casting and full-time streaming and whatnot, and paying my taxes and getting the healthcare and whatnot, everything that I will continue to do so, because I do love it, and I am passionate about it. No matter what, some way, shape, or form, whether I'm doing this full-time, small-time, big time, and whatnot, I promise you guys, you will see me doing this in some capacity. I don't care if it's in front of 20 people or 200,000. I'm gonna be casting.
Right. Hey. I don't know how many times over the years that I've gone towards like, I don't want to stream anymore, or I don't want to do this anymore, blah blah blah, and all that stuff, and I end up missing it. I end up going, man, this is crazy. Why am I worried about this too much or whatever? I've had people in my own community hit me up and go, hey, when are you coming back? Is everything okay? That kind of deal and all that stuff. And it's like, man, like I love doing this, and it's amazing on how much you are able to connect with people and all, even just through the internet and all. It's just absolutely amazing. It's so unique. And like, that's the reason why I don't think I will ever pretty much ever quit. I don't think I'll ever quit myself. It's because it's so unique. It's nothing that you get in your daily life routine at all. I mean, I work 40-hour work days, and then I still do this on the side and all that stuff. Yep. And I look more forward to doing this than I do my day job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I mean, recently, like 2 months ago, I joke around, but it's serious. Like nobody can outwork me. Like well, for example, like 2 months ago, I was working 55 plus hours a week, 6 days a week, putting out 40 hours worth of content between streaming and casting. I hated my job. Every day I would go to my job and just think about casting or streaming or what. Like, I literally hated my job until one day, I only had off on Sundays. That was it. And then even those Sundays, I was working Esports Arena every other Sunday. So I never actually had a day off. I worked Monday through Saturday at my main job. Sunday, I was working Esports Arena. If I wasn't working Esports Arena, I was streaming or casting something. And then one day I had a long Sunday cast. It was time. I went in Monday and I was like, bro, I can't do this anymore. Like, I hate it. It's the worst experience ever. And I was thinking, I'm like, there has to be something more to life than me going into work 6 out of 7 days, 55 plus hours, and doing this that I hate. So I literally quit my job. I wasn't prepared. Like, I had a bit of savings and whatnot. Obviously, I have my regular bank account. I got a couple. I have the Robinhood account, Acorns. I had a couple of different investment accounts that I have, and I had my gaming account. So I had a little bit of a savings saved up, but it was not expected. I just freaking quit, and I was like, screw it. I'll do full-time content creation until either I'm making it full-time content creation, or I just find another job and I'm ready to work again. And it was scary. I'm not gonna lie, but like I said, I hate it. So trust me, I know the grind. Trust me. I was putting 100+ hours away, and probably still now, if you add up all the weeks, all the time I'm putting in, I'm still probably putting closer to that, just making less money.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is also you got a lot of family support, I'm guessing, as well, and all that stuff. That's helping you with like doing all this full time.
No.
No. All right. Well, you're pretty much in the same boat I am. Then, because it's like with me, I have nobody. I got me a girlfriend now, but
I take care of other people.
But I have like nobody out here where I'm at and all that stuff. Like all my family lives in Virginia. I'm over here in Indiana, and my job, honestly, I would not still be in my job right now if it wasn't for the retirement. If it wasn't for the guaranteed retirement and all that stuff, I probably would not be doing my job right now. I probably would have quit like a year ago and all that stuff and all, because it's like you said, I don't have the passion for it. Yeah, can I do my job really well and fast and all that stuff? Yeah, I can, because most of the time, like when I'm at work, I'll have an 8-hour job. Let's say an 8-hour job. I can get that 8-hour job done in 4, and all that stuff, if not less than that. So the rest of the day, I'm like this, la 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 la. So like today, for instance, I spent half the day coming up with little questions and how I'm going to freaking try to do this little podcast and stuff like that. So that is another benefit with my job, is because like I get to go to work. I get to kind of think and do things for the stream and all. But would it be better than just being home and actually having all of these ideas that I have going in my head actually put on paper and put into the programs and all that stuff and all? Yeah, it'd probably be better for me and all, but I like knowing there's retirement for me. That's the only thing. I know. And the thing is, like you mentioned, Robinhood and all that stuff. That's the biggest thing that like a lot of people don't do, is that they don't. Okay, I'm going to quit my job now. I'm going to be a full-time streamer and all, but they don't have any kind of investments and stuff like that to where like they're fully requiring on donations and stuff like that through their stream and all that stuff. And that's where I think a lot of streamers fail when they try to go full time, is because they're hoping and expecting all those donations and subs and all that stuff and all. And then when they go full time, it doesn't necessarily change what they were doing before and all. And now they're struggling and all. And it's like, listen, some of those donations that you got or whatever, you should invest into a portfolio and all that stuff and get, have that $5. That $5 could turn into $500 real quick, if you do it properly.
I think if okay, so I think if, for example, like I personally, I really look, because I'm a big time spender. I spend a lot of money, but I had to sit there and say, okay, well, you know what, you got rent, you got car, you got car, you got cell phone bill, electricity, what can I live off of? Like, and if I just don't spend any money at all, like what can I honestly live off? And I think most people, if they really looked at it, they can probably live off of anywhere between $2,000 and maybe $3,000 a month. I think, and like really cutting out like everything, like you're cutting out literally everything and only paying rent. Maybe you have a little car note and whatnot. Like, and even then, like even 2,000 is really on the low end. It might be closer to 2,000 to 4,000, but obviously that's up to X amount of people
and where I would say, live and stuff like that, expenses and all that stuff, right?
And I would say that if you're gonna really pursue full time, and like I said, I really was like when I came into full time streaming or content creation, it was like, hey, I'm gonna do this until I go into my next job, and I have a new job lined up. I just haven't been ready to dive into it yet. I've been having fun, kind of messing around a bit. But if you're really gonna dive into full time content creation, and you're going to try to make this a living, I would say at a minimum, you need 6 months of saved income. So
Yeah.
if you can, if you really look at yourself and you can really live off of that $2,500 a month, good. Save up 4 to 6 months of that.
Yep.
Because there's going to be 4 to 6 months where and everything else that you make on top, that's gravy. You're putting that into the pot and extending it, but you need 4 to 6 months where you can live and not die,
right?
And then
not be put out on the street, you know.
And then all the money that you're putting and all the money that you're making, you're putting into that pot, and ultimately extending it. And hey, if you can make it a year, 2 years, 3 years, like okay, now you're good. Worst case scenario, if you start getting low and you start running down to your last, okay, well now I'm down to 2 months. Well, you know what? Maybe it's time to hang it up and say I need to at least get a part timer. Like
right. Part-time,
which is nothing wrong with that. Eventually I'm probably be joining back to the workforce eventually and whatnot. This wasn't meant for me to be permanent. If it happened to hit right, fantastic.
Awesome. Yep.
But I knew that this was gonna be in between me quitting my job and me ultimately finding a new one. Like I said, I have one lined up. I can work from home. I can make my own hours for the most part, so it's flexible. And I might end up doing that, but still, it's never gonna stop the grind. Like I'm still putting 40 hours minimum into, so I'm still doing full-time content creation. It's just that I'm doing that on top of working full-time as well.
Yeah, but I mean, at least now you're not working, 40 plus hours a week necessarily and all that stuff. You might be putting 20, 25 hours a week or something like that. Basically you can still be full-time content creator and do a part-time thing where, before content creation was part-time and your main job was your full-time. You can
overtime.
You can flip-flop it, and all that stuff. And as long as you're smart about it and all that stuff, it can be really, really good. So, I mean, one of my questions was going to be freaking what made you decide to freaking go full-time? Well, we kind of already covered that already. So we don't have to worry about that question anymore. No, I'm just
I can still elaborate a little bit. And mind you, I mean, I think that it's full time. Like I dove into full-time content again temporarily, and I want you guys at home to really it's not something that I would advise everybody to just quit your job and just do it. First of all,
have an established community. Have an established community for one.
I have a bit of a platform, so I had when I started streaming, I had a head start over a lot of people. Like I had Frosty host me and freaking ask me if I want to play with them. I've had all these people host me because they've heard of me and they know who I am. So I had a bit of a head start. So if you got this, not something I'm gonna say, hey, everybody needs to dive into content creation tomorrow. Like, dude, it's a cutthroat industry like that, and I promise you, it's not for everybody. You put that daily sub goal of 15, like you might have 0 one day.
Right.
Like it's tough. You might be streaming a whole day and never even touch double-digit viewers. Like it is not easy. So like I said, when I'm doing it now, it was always meant to be temporary. Now, eventually, say Infinite pops off and maybe I grow I get a big time, I get more casting gigs and I'm able to live off of it and whatnot. I might seriously consider, even now, I'm having fun. Some of the gigs I've gotten and whatnot, I was only going to do it for a month. I'm going on 2 months, and be honest, I'm extending it to, I'm probably going to extend it to 3 months, and it's keep getting extended because I'm doing okay. And most of all, I'm having a really good time. But there might be a point in time where maybe I can't make it to Infinite and I might have to join the workforce again. I have a job lined up. So I'm like, it may look like I just came out on whim and did this, but it was calculated. I promise you guys, it was calculated.
Well, it's like you've been streaming for over a year, year and a half or something like that and all. So you already kind of created a community within your and all, and obviously nobody does it on their own. Like you said, Frosty and all them have been supporting you and all that stuff and all. Danny, all of them, everybody's supporting you and all. I've had the same thing and all. But, if you go and you've got 50 follows and you don't even get one person to watch you during the time, and you're trying to make it full time, it's not going to work at all. And all that stuff, it's not going to work. Having somewhat of an established to be known, I guess is the word I'm looking for, within the community that you are trying to strive for. And then on top of that, if you're not having a good time, your community and all that stuff's going to notice that, and they might walk away and all that stuff. I mean, there's that. It's definitely happened to me. I'll be having a good time for a while, whatever, and then I'm just not, and it's because maybe I just need to walk away, that kind of deal, or something for a minute, reestablish myself and all, because maybe I got burnt out or something, because that is a real thing. And those people don't come back and all sometimes. But the biggest thing is that I know many. I know many people that have tried starting streaming and they just they couldn't handle the stress of it. They couldn't handle the non-growth, the all that stuff. They just couldn't handle it. Then like a lot of people want that instant gratification, and it's just not going to happen and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
And
even myself, some of my best streams are maybe pre esports arena, like a pre an event that I'm casting and whatnot, which it was hard for me because I know I'm going to tire myself during the event, and then I'll push myself to stream before, because that's some of my best streams where I'll hit some really good numbers and whatnot. But even today, for example, before my internet went out because of the weather, I think maybe I capped out maybe 14, 15 viewers, and
must be nice.
Some days, what I'm saying, I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I want to be up there with Crazy Miller. I want to be up there with Nap Times. I want to be up there with Article. I'm I may not be as skilled as them, as some of those guys and whatnot, but I have a personality and some of those days I want to be up there with some of those guys, and it's tough. It really is, and it's just, like I say, like you said, it's not for everybody. And just because you see Uncle Tony do it, don't like I said, it was calculated for me. I was ready to do it, and I've been lucky and blessed enough to have a bit of a head start in my career that not many people have. So really, I think the best way to do it is doing it part-time, having fun. It's a hobby. If you happen to make a few bucks a month and whatnot, really cool. It might become you might be able to supplement your income with it, but very few people should be diving in full time. Shouldn't have. I'm way too early. Maybe when Infinite comes out, maybe that's when I should be it's not right. It's not right for everybody.
I think you're good, man. I think you're good, man. I think you're good. You've already established yourself and all that stuff. The community is small enough that there's when people say Tony, it's like, oh yeah, the caster guy. People know you well enough. There's some people that only know me for all the donations that I've done in the past, and not for anything else. But it is what it is. Let's change the subject. All right.
All right. Yep.
So, because we're on the last 15 minutes or so, a little bit personal or whatever, and this is not within streaming. This is not within gaming or anything like that. All right. This is personal. All right. Who's your freaking hero?
Who's my not streaming, not gaming? Who's my hero? I got one person in mind. I just want to. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, and I think I'm gonna.
I'll tell you mine. Mine is my father. All right.
Okay.
My father is my personal hero. Okay. My father. He's the oldest of 13 children.
Mm-hmm.
He left the house when he was 12 or 13, one of the two, and he was been on his own since then. Never got a high school diploma, never got a GED. Worked at a mechanic shop for a while, and worked at Walmart for a while, and now he's retired and all that stuff. And the one thing that my father always did was made sure that food was in my belly. I went to school. I did my sports, and I graduated and all that stuff. And mind you, during all this time, my mom got into an accident, really bad car accident. My mom ended up having a stroke and all that stuff. And to this very day, my father made sure that we were taken care of, and that because of me, like I kind of try to reference that off of, reference that into anything and everything I do. I try to take care of people as much as possible and all that stuff. And he's definitely my freaking hero because he basically literally came from nothing, and now he's a retired guy that can go out fishing and hunting whenever he freaking feels like it. And believe it or not, there's not a lot of people that come from nothing and can do that at 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? They're still working at 80 some odd years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my personal hero on that. I'm not getting into freaking gaming or anything like that because that's a different story. So
yeah. I mean, if I was gonna go personal, I would probably go my mother. Only because like I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for my mother. My father obviously was very important. But my mother, it was definitely like somebody who, like the nicest person. Well, anybody who's ever met my mother and whatnot, they would tell you that she's just the nicest person in the world. Like nobody's ever had a mean thing to ever say about her. She's always been, going to church every Sunday, just living right and whatnot, and just doing right by other people and taking care of other people. I think she was the first one to go to college in her actual family. Then eventually her sisters, I believe, followed up with that as well. I mean, we were never rich. We were, never poor, but I always was taken care of, and there's no way that I'd be the person that I am now if it wasn't for her. Like anybody else would have raised me, especially in the environment that I was raised in, definitely would have came out a lot different. Like let me tell you, it would have came out a lot different. Where I'm from, it ain't good. It ain't
Jersey
good.
Can be rough. Jersey can be rough because
it ain't good people that come from where I'm from, and not many. But I was raised right.
I spent some time up in Jersey a little bit because actually a lot of my father's side of the family is like from Jersey and all that. And when I was like a teenager and all that stuff, there were some parts there that, you would think you were in New York. So
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, most of Jersey is trying to be New York. And if I had to pick somebody that's not in my personal, I mean, I would. I think like that I don't personally know or I've met. I think I'd probably go like Will Smith. I think I think Will Smith is just like at least in the public, like he's just that dude. Like he's just like he seems to be nice, funny, intelligent, like the full package and whatnot. And I would probably go him if I had to go somebody who wasn't personal. But as far as personal, there's no way that I'd be here or who I am without my mother. Like, just it's like not even a question.
All right. No, well, I don't really have any kind of celebrities or whatnot because the thing is with celebrities, I can't really relate to them too terribly much. You know what I'm saying? Because the one thing, and this is the same thing with really any public figure, they'll show you one side of you. Or one side of themselves in the public, and then they could be completely different in private.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Oh, you never know. You literally never know.
So, maybe Joe Rogan would probably be about the only other person I could think of, because I think if you think personalities and all that stuff, I think probably like the closest I can think of that. When he is on his podcast or on his or whatever, that's the exact same person you're going to get if he was just hanging out with you in a hotel room or something like that. You know what I mean? Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, he's good. I think another one. Freaking, he's always funny. But Joe Rogan, like, that'd probably be a celebrity wise. Yeah, I think for me that'd be because like it just he's straight with everybody. He doesn't give a fuck,
Mhm.
you know. And also, but he's also very kind hearted soul too. He'll take care of anybody. So. All right, so we are actually getting towards the end of the podcast. Is there any little final things that you would like to say or whatever, or would you have any like questions for me or anything like that? Because we can fill like 10 minutes.
I mean, not really so much questions. I mean, I do want to thank you for bringing me on. Like you said, you like to talk. You said I love to talk. it's what I love. So I mean, thank you for giving me a platform and sharing your platform with me, so that I can share your community and talk to your community. If I could, I do want to shout out a few people. I already said Danny. I'm not shouting you anymore. Shut up, Danny. I don't even like you. Thank you, Danny, for giving me a shot. Just like Worm Dog shared his community, you shared your community with me and really gave me a start. That led over to Esports Arena. Thank everybody over Esports Arena, Orange County. I appreciate you all. LVT, Louis V Titan, one of the best in the business, and he has a bright future. He is the future of production. It's crazy what he does. If you guys ever watch Money Tuesdays and all of his stuff, it's literally it's insane. But he doesn't need Halo. Halo needs him. And I wanted to also shout out Active as well. Active is a cool dude and whatnot. Me and Anthony kind of got our start together.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
Kind of grow together.
I love Anthony. Actually, he'll be on the podcast here in the future and all. And I like to consider like Anthony like a distant friend and all that stuff because we actually talk offline every so often and stuff like that. And he's asked me for advice on different things every so often and all. Even though like he's always freaking posting stuff about Jen and all that stuff, and I find it actually hilarious when he does that. You know, because it's actually funny. Oh,
yeah. And again, and I'm gonna thank you one more time. Like I'm looking at these graphics and whatnot. I saw the intro and whatnot. Yo, this is legit. Like I love what you're doing here, and it's gonna get big. Watch out, it might get too big for you to handle, bro. It's gonna get big.
Hey, no. Once like all of the like people start actually hitting me up and me not having to hit them up. You know, like that's when I know I really freaking made it big and all, you know, because like right now I'm having to hit everybody up and see if they want to come in and all. And when they start hitting me up a lot, that's when I know, you know, because I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about like how many people I got viewing me. What I care about is you guys wanting to come and have a nice little conversation with me and you know, see where it goes, you know. All right, everybody, I just linked his Twitch account right there. If you haven't already, follow him, give him a follow. He's an amazing dude. He does casting for SWAT Nation, has done some for HCS, and he might be even having something in the future. And just an amazing overall dude. One of these days, dude, we got to play together. I've been meaning to play with you at some time. We definitely need to play.
I'm live every day. Apex, Halo, you name it.
Yeah, but you got people waiting to play with you all the time. I don't.
Is it cool if I answer that question in the chat? Do you want it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Where did your name come from, Tony? Twitch name, just curious. Why not is Tony spelled backwards? And we'll start off with Reckless because that was my duo, and then eventually casting my Twitch name because I'm a caster.
We actually kind of answered that question earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry.
But that's fine. That's fine. It's all good. All right. Hey, Tony, you have a wonderful night. And also, hey, what's your normal times you do your streams?
Stream is pretty much an hour after I wake up. There's no set
When is that?
It can be anywhere between like 11 and like 1 o'clock. That's when I'll start. I'll usually go a while for that with Halo in the early time, and then at night I'll come back anywhere between 9:30 and like 10 o'clock, and I'll do like a night shift. And I just try to do Apex at night. So Halo in the day, Apex at night. And that's that's the kind of schedule I've been following recently. Best thing I tell you is follow my Twitter, notifications on.
Yep, there you go. All right, you guys have let's do an end credits. Thank you, Tony. I'm gonna head on out, man.
All right.